Greek black metal, ain't that a thing? Those of you who have been following the Greek scene already know what is the so-called Greek black metal sound all about. You know, plenty of names to prove that point. But we're not gonna talk about those originators of the Greek scene today, but a band called Caedes Cruenta. And this one is their album from 2014, now repressed on vinyl in 2020. August, in fact. And this one is a helter-skelter production release. Which way to go? Let's just take a look at this vinyl. First, plain black vinyl featuring some roughly 48 minutes of music from the Greek black metal scene. This one comes with a poster for you who still like putting posters on the wall. There's this interesting cover image once again. We have some KKK warriors here, except that they have decided to go in a little bit different ways, and we have an undead pope or cardinal of sorts, some Jesus and the folk, and not to mention the old horned head one. And here is obviously the lineup. And then we do indeed have the covers here, and this is Gatefold. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name because, to be honest, I have no idea how to say it or how does that even translate to English, but there was something like Ruins of Souls or something in that direction. But this is how it looks. Traditional black, white and red. And on the back side we once again see these lineup here, kind of a Xeroxed versions of the images, and here is side A and side B as the track listing goes. So pretty neat looking vinyl release. Let's take a look at the band's Metal Archive site. So Caedes Cruenta, not Cruenta, like I was gonna say it, is indeed a Greek-based black metal band founded in some 17 years ago. The band hasn't been the most active ones. I mean, there's quite a few years between every full album, even though there are a couple of splits and whatever. And so all in all, 3 albums in 17 years. Not the most active ones, we could say. But being active anyway, sort of, throughout the years. And this is how the members list looked like. So most of them have other projects or bands, more or less, active, and as you can see, there are some more known bands such as Thor Lord, not exactly mainstream, but you know. So there's a certain kind of veteran status with the lineup of the band. Now the music here is very Greek sounding. It definitely has this so-called trademark Greek riffs, melodies even, and the overall kind of a little bit a mushy sound, what is definitely also a little bit of a trademark thing, especially if we go back to the early 90s of Greek black metal. Now, there are lots of bands that probably reminds you of this or vice versa, because, I mean, doesn't matter whether we're talking about Rotting Christ, Varatron and the like, this is very, very Greek sounding. It's much like a Greek equivalent to a lots of Norwegian bands sounding exactly very, very Norwegian. So basically paying a tribute of sorts to the originators of the country, and it's gonna be the defining factor whether or not you're gonna like this kind of music. Now for me, I've never been a big fan of Greek scene. I mean, I like that they have their own sound. I like that they're not copying any kind of a Nordic sound. You know, they have very much their own thing. I'm really happy about it. But most of those bands have never touched me very deeply. I mean, I've gone through my years with Rotting Christ and the like. You know, the early albums really was actually one of my first black metal albums ever to cut those ones. But later on, I mean, I kind of wanted something more cold and grim sounding, whereas in my opinion, Greek sound is more warm. And that is not a bad thing, by no means. I'm just saying it's very, very different from what people are expecting if you just compare this to so many other scenes. And like I said, whether or not you like Greek scene defines how you will welcome Caedes Cruenta. Because the thing here is, they are not exactly original. They're more like following the steps, following the path that was laid before them by those predecessing bands. Varaton, Reading Cries, Semial, you name it. And if you are into that, there's a good chance that you will like this album as well. But then again, if you don't like those predecessors, I don't think this album has any chance at all. First of all, the sound is a little bit mushy. It's not crystal clear, it's not evil and grim, it's just a little bit demo-ish. Vocals, very forgettable, but not annoying at all. I mean, they're doing their job with the kind of a basic black metal raspy or shriekiness, whatever you want to call it, but that's it. Then when it comes to these songs, well, as you can see, they're mostly on the lengthier end of the whole thing. That is, I mean, 6-8 minutes, and so that feels like it's going, just way too much. Much like I'm rambling way too much with my reviews. I should get, away with it with 3 minutes, and then I end up talking 8 minutes. And that's exactly the same thing which is happening with these albums. Songs are way too lengthy, and you kind of get bored. And when the next song comes in, it's more like repeating very much the first thing. So there's not too much diversity. You either like it, you either like one song or two songs, and then you're gonna like the rest of it, or then you just dislike the whole album because you didn't like the first album to begin with. And as such, I'm kind of destined to say that this is a mediocre plus album. Or maybe something like decent but not good. So once again, it depends how you like your Greek black metal. Definitely. That's the defining factor, and there's no way going around it. So take a look, take a listen, and figure out for yourself. And in case you're wondering which version this is, indeed, you can see there's plenty of vinyls and tapes and all that stuff. This one is the one coming out through Helter Skelter, so 500 copies. I am guessing it should be still available, considering this is some 6 months old. And if you like it, go for the physical, I always say. Take care and enjoy some Greek black metal.